Okay, sorry everybody for the different feeds. The first feed, it actually just got shut down. The second one, we're still figuring out how to add her to the phone call, to the live chat. So we've done that now. We're on the mobile device. Things should go a lot smoother now. To give a little context about the situation for people just joining us now, we're talking about human trafficking in Canada. This is stemmed from an incident in Prince Albert where a young man had escaped from a human trafficking house and later was arrested by police, and they didn't believe his story. His family actually reached out to me and thanked me for speaking out because this happens way too often. Time and time again, our people are getting swept off the streets and they're getting sold at ports. They're getting sold, they're getting bought, and they're in a different country helpless. And people, Canadian citizens, if they're not aware of this, they need to be aware of this now because we need to mobilize and do something about this. We live in a country that praises equality. How is this happening in 2019? How is there not more national media coverage? How is there not more political leaders joining our side in our fight? It's the people. The power will come for the people, and it always has been the people. And us, by uniting and coming together, our voices will be heard. Our solutions that we'll take together, they will make a difference in this world for our children, for our sisters, for our mothers, our brothers, the people that are losing their lives every single day to the human trafficking ring that is very real. We're about to be joined by a young woman who we had a conversation with. It was earlier on this morning, and you could
She called us earlier this morning after seeing Dakota's video from last night go viral. She is currently outside of Canada, living in a foreign country, and she will be speaking about her experiences here in Canada and why she is over in a different country right now. We're just waiting for her to join our Facebook Live. As soon as she begins watching, I can request her to come on camera.
For us, we want to have calls to action. We want to mobilize our people, stand together.
We want to be able to show support because a lot of our voices get discredited, whether it's the media company, whether it's the authorities. It's always getting discredited. Our voices are always getting unheard, and our experiences swept under the rug.
We want to mobilize our people. There's a patrol system that is in Winnipeg called the Bear Clan Patrol. Please research them. We want to start another one in Prince Albert, and we need your help. There's a Facebook support group called Protect Our People. Please join that group. We're going to raise awareness. We're going to have a campaign. We're going to do this. And right now, we're going to have this young woman join us and share her stories. We're going to ask her a few questions.
And we're going to ask if you guys can please keep your comments positive. And allow her to just speak from the heart. She's speaking on her behalf of her experiences. It takes a lot of strength and courage to come and speak about these situations.
And we thank you for your strength. We thank you for coming forward, your courage. It means a lot, and it's going to give us so much insight. So she's going to join us now. And she's joining us from a different country. It's adding her now. For everybody wanting to support, please go onto my page. There's the page up, the support page. Request to be a part of it. That's where all the conversations will be happening. That's where all the calls to action will be happening.
It started. Oh, it's connecting.
Oh. Hey.
I think it's hi. Just give me a moment.
Can everybody see her screen right now?
I can't see the comments.
I can see the comments on our side. Our screen is cut in half and you're on.
Yeah, I can't see anything. It's okay.
Okay. Someone says they see you. Yeah. Okay.
Can you? Sorry, I'm so nervous.
No, it's honestly it's okay. Ed, like we applaud your strength. It's not easy to speak about stuff like this. It's not easy to come forward.
So people can see you. If maybe you want to just introduce yourself,
share as much information as you feel
like
comfortable, and then we can get into the questions that we want to ask you, Carrie.
Buju and Dishinakash Niju Atikudem, Shumado Shumdo Damda Gijiga, Chumno Tawandaman, Chumano Niji and Ishnabe, Miigwech Minichwa. My name is Carrie Kovanes. I'm from Buffalo Point First Nation. I was born and raised in Winnipeg, Manitoba. I am 26 years old. What was brought to my attention was I woke up this morning. I'm in a different time zone. I'm in Africa, in Morocco, and I seen this young man and his wife's video about human trafficking. And just, I believe, 2 months or a month before, I actually made a live video about human trafficking and organ trafficking, and about Duffy's taxi and police brutality and all these matters about my city in Winnipeg, Manitoba. And everyone chose to ignore it, especially what happened to me. I was a victim to sexual assault. And this happened by a Duffy's taxi company and with other men. So if you want to ask me questions, I can ask them. I was just giving them
a little insight for sure.
Yeah.
The organ harvesting that you speak of, that's something that people, they don't think that could be happening in our country. Like I don't know if it's like a shock thing for them or a surprise, but like these are the things that are happening, and for you to speak out about this, that's just validating what's going on in our country.
Yeah. It's very real. Organ trafficking and human trafficking, sex trafficking is very real. I believe that the authorities in each city and province is in on it too as well, especially for us Indigenous women and men. We're targeted at a very high rate, and everyone chooses to ignore it. And I'm sick of it. That's why I contacted you. I was like, you know what? I'm not going to be silent. I'm going to be strong. What those men took from me years ago, I'm not going to let that hold me back. I'm going to speak out, and I don't care if someone's going to put me down as a woman. And as much as it hurts to talk publicly about what happened to me, I have to do it because I don't want this to happen to anyone else out there in Canada, anywhere. I don't want this to happen to anyone. So this is why it's hard for me now. I want to cry because the experience I went through in my own city, it shouldn't have happened. It shouldn't.
No.
But it's happening every day. And the police don't care. No one cares in Canada. No one. No one's there to protect us. That's why I think our Indigenous men, when you spoke out, I was so proud and honored. Everything you spoke about was like hit me right in the heart. I appreciate it. And I'm so happy you both as a couple are standing out, and we're going to make awareness, and we're going to work together. So this is why I'm going to speak out and tell everyone exactly what happened from the night it happened, from the police, and how they arrested the man and everything. So when you want to start with your questions, feel free.
Yes. So just as she was saying, it's happening right now as we speak. That's why we find it so important to have this support group, to have us come together as brothers and sisters, holding hands, because we need to be there for one another. Nobody's there for us. Nobody's in our corner right now. None of the authorities are there to help us, to believe us.
No.
They discredit us and our experiences.
And it feels like sometimes the public too discredits us, and they don't believe that these things are happening because the severity of the situation, and they just don't think that it could happen here in Canada. But the truth is, you need to wake up. It's happening here in Canada every day. Young children, 2-3 years old, they're going missing every single day, and the cases are barely looking into. Her story will give you insight why that is and why the cases are being handled with such negligence.
Okay, so we'll start with so when did you move to where you are now, if you want to disclose that information?
I'm just back and forth traveling. I just wanted to see the world. I was kind of sick of living how I told you on the phone. I'm ashamed of where I come from. I come from Canada, where they don't give a shit about Indigenous rights or any rights at all.
Exactly.
For any citizens of Canada. They paint a picture in Canada where it's like, welcome to Canada. But welcome to Canada for what? To get murdered, to get missing, to meth crises, to police brutality, to cases that are not solved.
All of that, it seems like a lot of our Indigenous people, because we face this on a daily basis, we understand, we're aware, and we're standing together. But a lot of the people, they choose not to, or they're misinformed. They don't have enough information out there. And people coming into this country from different countries, when they come here, they do have a book that they need to read about our country, but the information they get on Indigenous history and the plights of Indigenous people is so small, so they don't fully understand.
It's very small.
It is.
It's very small. I will tell you something. When I first came here to Morocco, They thought I was Chinese. They didn't know I was indigenous. They did not know what Native American was. They think American is Canada. That's all. They didn't know that we were alive. They thought Native Americans, indigenous people, they died a long time, formed everyone until this day in 2019.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's also the media plays a big role in like media blackouts with Standing Rock. They had a whole media blackout. They literally prevent the public from knowing about these things. And that's why we're here on Facebook Live talking to you, because we feel that your story needs to be heard. Other people need to be knowing that this is going on right now. So maybe we'll take it back to if you wanted to share your story about what happened with the taxi cab company, because that was a similar experience with the young man that had brought this whole situation to our immediate attention. So we'll talk about your experience in Winnipeg, if you're comfortable with
Do you want with the sexual assault as well?
Yeah,
Everything that you feel comfortable
Everything.
sharing.
Okay. So July of 2012, I was working in a club and helping bartend and just cleaning and, you know, just waitressing tables. I was with my, I thought at the time my friend was my friend, but apparently she wasn't. I guess she was a part of this whole ring of human trafficking. So after work, I had some drinks. After I believe from what the police report and the hospital told me was I was drugged. So somebody came to our table. Our table was a VIP table. Nobody can get in, only VIP. If you're VIP, you come in. If you're not VIP, you can't enter. I don't know how this guy came in. He came in with free drinks, and I guess the drink that I took happened to be the one that was spiked. So I think within not even 5 minutes, I started not feeling myself. I wanted to go home. I was saying bye to the security. I told him that the cab is outside. When I got into the cab, there's one girl in the cab, another guy in the cab. We left, and I was telling the cab, yeah, I want to go home. This is where I live. And like after that, it was a total blackout. I did not know anything. I didn't know where I was. When I woke up, there was this man, and there was a bunch of them. I can hear them speaking a different language. It was I was in a room. I don't know the room. I was in a room. It was dark. I didn't know where I was. I didn't have my pants on or my clothes. And I kept asking where I was to the guy, and he was just telling me to wait. And he left the room, and when I seen that the door was open, I took my chance and I ran with no shoes, nothing. And I was running in the streets of Winnipeg on I forget the street. It's north near Main Street. I forget the street. I was running into the street, and a married couple heard me screaming. I was yelling for help, for help, for help. And actually, before even police came, it was reported in the police report that I was running around in the winter with no, not in the winter. I was running around with no shoes, no pants, and for 1 hour. The police didn't come for 1 hour. I actually passed out in a back lane. A storekeeper happened to be opening his store, and he found me, and he called the ambulance, and they took me to the hospital. There in the hospital for 24 hours, I didn't know who I was. I didn't know where I was. I didn't know my name. I didn't know my mom. I didn't know my brother. I didn't know anyone. From there, I was traumatized. I for I believe months, I kept having dreams about this man that sexually assaulted me along with his friends. And just to remind you, when I left this house, there was 4 guys, and the guy that is actually charged, I know his name. I'm not gonna disclose his name because I think that if I disclose his name, I can get in trouble. I don't know how that works.
And we're here to protect your safety as well. So everything, right. Those important information, you leave those out where you're located, for your protection and your safety.
When I left this house, they didn't want me to leave. They did chase me. I did run. I was jumping over fence, running through back lane. I was running for my life. I had no idea where I was. I didn't know where I was. I was hiding. I actually jumped into a garbage can to hide for a little bit because I can hear them saying, "Where is she? Where is she?" No, she went this way. She went that way. They were like, they wanted to get me because they needed me to shut up. They thought I knew where the house. And the next day, before the next day, I ended up running to my friend's house. I don't know how I remember where her house was, but she's my best friend for years. She told me her brother opened the door, and that's when they found me. And they said like I wasn't myself. I was not myself. If you understand, I wasn't myself. They knew I was on something. I was talking crazy. I was telling them someone took me. Someone is help me, and I went running away from a house where I was safe with my friends, but I chose to run because I was so scared. I kept telling them the house is here. The house actually where the police actually found house was actually 3 streets away from where my friend lived, which is very scary, which is alarming. You could be walking by today and walk by a house where there's human trafficking and you don't even know. Like I was in a house where it was 3 houses away from my best friend's house. That's how serious human trafficking is in Canada. And it's a scary thing. It's a scary thing. And with the Duffy's Taxi, they are a part of it. I know they are a part of it 100%. They're a part of human trafficking in Canada, Winnipeg. And the police are doing nothing about it. They don't care for Indigenous people. And when I used to protest for police brutality, human rights, Indigenous rights, everything, one time a police officer pulled me over and I was talking to the Grand Chief, Terry Nelson at the time. They pulled me and my partner over at the time. And the police officer, I started recording. He told me, put the weapon down. I told him it's not a weapon. It's my phone. I have a right to record. And he told me, the police officer came to my window and he told me, do you know who I am? I told him no. He said, I'm the police officer you put on the news, you bitch. And he told me, keep talking and you'll be the next one in the river.
Man, honestly,
I'll be the next one in the river. This is what makes me believe that Winnipeg police are not all Winnipeg police, but some of the police officers are a part of this circle, this ring.
That's honestly believe that the levels that this goes up, it goes up so high. And the reasoning behind that is because the vulnerability of our people, it just gets swept under the rug. We're so marginalized, especially Indigenous women. It's like, as Indigenous man, yes, I am, and I'm a minority, but both of you as Indigenous women, that's double minority right there. And people know that so often, like when these cases come up, people have walked free. People have walked free with a slap on the wrist. Yeah. So it's like,
it shows the public, it shows the other potential predators that it's okay to do this to our women, because it shows the public that we are disposable, that Indigenous women are disposable, and we're not. We're here today, we're surviving the statistics that hold us in this reality, and we're able to reach out to other people across countries who still face the same experiences here. Your what you said about the police being involved, I believe that, you know, there's a lot of people that spoke up about that too.
I honestly think that our political leaders should be more invested in this, like FSIN, like our AFN, like the people that represent us to the government. They should be speaking out on these things. Like they should be into the forefront of our issues, because this is important. This is our women, our young children. We have a daughter who's 3 years old. Like this is directly affecting so many of our friends and our family. And this shit, it has to stop. We have to come together. I honestly, I got chills when you're telling your story. It's just like when I watched that video of that young guy who was crying outside, pleading for help, beating on door to door, and people didn't believe him that there was women and children in a house. They're like, no, like the police, they would have found them. Like that couldn't be possible because they looked around. It's like, no, man, you don't understand how deep this goes. Like these are real stories that people have to share. It's time to wake the fuck up and listen to us.
Yes, exactly. No. This is why I'm joining your guys' page and everything you guys are starting. I stand with you and your wife 100%. I stand with you guys, and it took a lot for me to talk about it. I don't want to get into all the specific details of what happened to me. Yeah. Just thank God I'm alive and I survived, and it took me a long time. It took me years to just publicly go on, even on live, just even to speak to my current partner now about what happened, and my family. It's something I kept inside, but you making this live, this video, it made me, you know what? I'm coming out. I'm going to tell everyone because I don't want this to happen. And our women and men need to take attention wherever you go in the world, even if it's in a city, another city, take attention. Never travel alone.
Exactly.
Be with a friend. Always tell someone where you're going, what time you're going to be home. You never know, because one day you're going to walk out that door and you're not going to come home.
Us as women, that's what I feel, that's very important that you said that, because us as women, this is a new reality for us. This is something that we're dealing with every single day. So we must take those measures, those preventative measures, use the buddy system. Like you said, always tell someone where you're going at all times, your exact location. Always confirm with people that you're okay. Have a cell phone on you at all times. This is a new reality that we're going to have to face. And if this is the precautions that we're going to have to take, so be it. You know, I need to stand with our sisters. It's such a scary world out there today.
And honestly, as a young man, as a young Indigenous man, and to my young brothers out there, my young warriors, we need to stand together, protect our women, our sisters, our aunties, our daughters. Like, they're in danger. Their lives are at risk every single day. Watch them closely, please, and make sure that if you have young daughters, make them aware and train them in self-defense, because these are the realities of our country. We need to stand together, united as people, fighting for equality, fighting for our voices to be heard. 2019, Canada rated top 3 places to live in the world still. Like, we're being paraded around. But then once you get here and people from other countries start hearing our stories, they're fucking shocked. Honestly, they cannot understand that this is happening to us. Like, how? This is what we get. The information is basically from society, the media outlets, the way that we parade around, and we're getting pissed off because of certain issues. It's like, you don't understand the colonial effects that still oppress us to this day, that has happened before the DNA Act, before Canada was even made. We had agreements to come together to share this land for all people, but Canada, you went back on those agreements. You weren't protecting our people. You weren't listening to our problems or our voices. For us to come together is a powerful thing, and we're going to keep coming together, keep uniting.
For sure.
We're not giving up. We're not giving up.
We're not gonna.
Me, you, your children, all of us, we're still here as Native Americans, Indigenous people. Canada, we're not giving up. Until I die, we are not giving up. We are going to make awareness about all the problems Canada is hiding and throwing under the rug, especially for the missing and murdered Indigenous. And right now, the human trafficking, people need to wake up. Please, all the viewers right now, I'm telling you, this is real. I could have died that night. I could have been, I don't know. I could have been brutally beaten, raped, and my body parts thrown in the river. I don't know. Thank God that I was able to wake up in a hospital with my family, because I don't wish this upon anyone, not even my worst enemy. Please, brothers and sisters, come together, protect one another. Even if you have been enemies, stick together. Life is too short to have this negativity. We need to come together. We need to unite. We have leaders that go and speak at these meetings that talk about unity and uniting and coming to one. Coming to one for what? It's all about money with our own chiefs. It's all about money. Look at, we're left to fend on our own sometimes, us as youth.
That's right.
As young people,
our next generations, like, we're not promised tomorrow. We're not. We need to think about these children that are coming. We're not gonna live forever, us as adults. We're gonna go. We don't know when, but we're gonna go. These next future generation Indigenous babies and children that are coming, it's their time, not ours. It's us to fight now for them, for equality, for us to.
Honestly, it's for our children, our family, and it's for you, the viewers watching this stuff. We fight, we put our lives on the line. We're putting out awareness, and we're exposed to backlash and different people commenting and just having these ignorant comments towards us. But we are asking you to join us together, because our voices, they're stronger when they're together, when they're unified.
As much as we are divided today, I'm asking each and every one of the 230 some viewers that are watching this right now to stand together. We can no longer be divided. This divide is too great now. And if one thing is going to bring us together, it's the protection for our women, for our children, and even for our men. So I'm calling on all Indigenous men, all non-Indigenous men, to stand there and start protecting your women, standing up for your women. Stop making posts that feed into the rapist culture, that feed into that. Enough with those posts, enough with those jokes. It's not funny. I see way too many men making derogatory comments about women, about their issues.
Exactly.
And
this is one of the reasons why I didn't want to talk about what happened to me, because I didn't want people adding me saying like, oh, you deserved it. Oh, you shouldn't have drank that night. Well, you know what? It's not I'm an adult. I can have a drink. I'm an adult. I should go out and have fun. I'm an adult. I should be able to travel without worrying about anything like this happening in 2019, 2018, 2012 when this happened to me. It should have never happened.
Exactly.
I should have felt safe going home in a taxi, but instead I was taken to a place where I could have been murdered by these men.
And none of those.
And Winnipeg Police Service did nothing. They did nothing until the guy returned back to the same bar where I was working and then arrested him.
Honestly, I feel like as time progresses, things are getting worse, and the Canadian public, they feel like things are progressing because of the media and because budgets the federal government says they're allocating to our people to help us build schools, help us build this and that. But those, to be honest, those budgets that are allocated, they never come, and when they do, they're completely diminished. Schools in Ottawa, Saskatchewan, these crises, water crises that are happening, and if they think that things are okay, they think, okay, things are getting looked to, the inquiry of missing and murdered indigenous women, okay, these things are getting looked into, things are getting better. The fact is, they do that for public service, for lip service, to make it seem like things are okay and actually putting work in. This is why we're on the live feed right now, expressing and sharing these stories, because it's not getting better, it's actually getting worse, and people are just staying silent. We have to speak out.
For sure.
Honestly, like the courage it takes for you
it's speechless for all of us. I can tell in all of our face reactions right now. I can't explain how I feel right now. Just, it's disappointing. I wish people where I live now knew the reality of Canada. It's sad. They don't know the true Canada that we know.
Again, I just want to thank you for bringing your situation into light of those who may not know how drastic an experience can be, how traumatizing it can be. Even to this day, she shares with me that she is still suffering from PTSD from what has she experienced. That's going to stay with her for the rest of her life, you know. It takes that one experience, you know, to really change a person. And I want to thank you for allowing us to invite you to this live video. I want to thank all of our people watching for your support. I see the comments that you're sending in, and it's so heartwarming. After seeing, it's hard to go on the media, to go on social media and watch those derogatory comments, but seeing these comments that are full of support, full of love, it's amazing. It's heartwarming. It feels like,
I feel like people actually care, and we feel hopeful that people are actually going to stand together against this and against like the injustices that you had faced and that our young women, children, our men that are facing today. That we're actually raising awareness and we're coming together for these things, because it's the people that are affected. Those are the people going to make the change. If we sat around waiting for changes to come, we'd be waiting forever, because that's what we did for so long. We were hopeful.
Like we have been for years. For Indigenous people. We're just told lies, lie after lie, paper after paper.
Exactly.
And I'm asking the viewers, if you're unaware of the situation, if you're just tuning in, if you could research more into the human trafficking that goes on of Indigenous peoples here in Canada. The statistics, they're rising every single day. That there just seems to be more and more stories coming out. So can you please inform yourselves? We have a support group on Facebook that we started on my Facebook pages. Could you join those? We have a lot of support already. Let's just stay united, stay positive in the group, support each other, share stories. I'm going to be talking with journalists, people that want to investigate into these things further, that the cases have been neglected. We're going to be looking more into that. We're going to be going higher and higher into the governments, doing petition. Every single thing that we possibly can do, we will be doing, and we will be dedicating our time. I don't have much time right now too. My daughter, she just come home from school, so we gotta get her situated. But I thank you again, Carrie, for so much, for coming on to the feed, for sharing your story, for giving us a call this morning. Like, your courage is so much appreciated. I'm sure everybody got so much insight into what's happening. If you want to share any last few words, please do.
Just to my brothers and sisters in Winnipeg, Canada, and all over Canada, please protect yourself, watch yourself. When you go out, tell someone where you're going. Please, if you have a friend or a family member with a car, take a car. Do not take Duffy's taxi. Do not take any taxis. There are fake taxis out there, like he was telling me.
That's right.
There are fake taxis. And not only that, these men that are human trafficking, they will actually go into stores, into malls, and follow you into the parking lot and drug you. Not any pills. They will go up to you with a gas and cover your mouth and throw you in a van and you're gone. Be careful. Watch your surroundings at all times. At all times, not just the women, the men too, and your children. Protect your children. Walk them to school. Pick them up. Do everything you can to protect yourself, because we are at risk as Indigenous people and even as non-Indigenous people. Please, brothers and sisters, come together and let's unite. Let's work together for this problem. Especially all the videos that are going viral about human trafficking and all Indigenous rights. We have to come together because no one gives a shit. No police is helping. No investigations, no inquiries are helping. No one is helping. It's time for us as the adults, for Indigenous people and non-Indigenous, to wake up and come together as one. So something can be done. Investigation should be done. We shouldn't have missing, murdered women every day. Every day. That's my opinion, and that's what I have to say. I could say a lot more, but as you said, you have to go, and I need to get off live too. And if anybody wants to contact them, please support them. This young man speaks so powerful. I'm very proud of him and his wife, and I stand behind them 100%. And when I do return to Canada in 2 weeks, I'm hoping and praying that I'll be able to stop in Vancouver to meet this young couple and be able to start a meetup and talk more about this, to connect city to city, to have a youth come together.
Exactly. Just keep it going. Awareness is key, but there has to be steps taken after that, like plans of action, and that's what we're here to do. We're here to organize, dedicate our time, our resources to this cause. Thank you again so much for sharing your story. We'll have to hop on live again. We can go back and forth, answer some more people's questions that want to know more into the situation, to bring more awareness. But Casey, do you have any words before we end the feed?
I think I walked in when you guys were saying we're going to keep this conversation going. This cannot be the end to this. We're just only starting now. We're only getting our grip now. But we have the Facebook group. If you guys can all join. I know it says Saskatchewan because that's kind of initially where we started, but it's so much bigger than that. And people are coming out with their stories. So if you guys can all join this Facebook group, we're going to keep these conversations going. Maybe even do.
They're interested in the volunteer.
And the volunteer program for the Bear Patrol.
Bear Patrol.
Yeah, the Bear Clan Patrol. But if we can, we want to kind of maybe keep doing these live videos with other guest speakers to talk about their situations.
Raise awareness, bring more people on board for sure.
Because there's a lot of people coming to us saying that they want to be in a Facebook, they want to share their experiences. So
and that's important. Please join the group so we can coordinate things like this, so we can come together, share stories, share resources. We need everything that we can, possibly right now. We need to contact our leaders, FSIN, AFN, all the leaders possible to get on board with this. This is a crisis and it needs to end.
I just wanted to say, for the survivors and victims of sexual assault or any police brutality or any trauma that you went to, if you don't have anyone to talk to you and you don't trust any of the other resources in the community that you live in, I'm open to talk to you, to video chat. I'm open. I'm safe to talk to you. So I'll be connected with this young couple, and I'm open to talk to anyone else. If you need to talk to, I'm here. So
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, and it's important for the survivors and the victims to find that safe person to go to. If I'm always here as well. If anyone wants to, feel free to message. Right now, we're just gonna light a smudge up, thinking of those women, men who have been affected. We're gonna light a smudge up for positivity, to bring good energy back. This is such a hard topic to talk about, but it is so important. Very important. And yes, Tala, we're actually doing a screening for possible volunteers.
We have the guidance of the
Bear Clan Patrol that was
Yeah.
put in Winnipeg, the very first Bear Clan Patrol. So
James Fable.
Yeah, James Fable. So he's kind of guiding us and giving us the guidance throughout this whole process.
As well as I also thought I would say that the Treaty 3 and American Indian movement, I believe that they'd be highly interested, especially the youth would be interested in getting involved. And my brother and me and my parents are actually American Indian movement members. I've been a member since I was 15 years old. So, I strongly
so amazing.
Agree they would join.
Amazing. We'll have more information on that. Then we can put that. We'll add you as monitor to the group, and we'll put that information to the support group that we had made today, and we can just keep this conversation going. Get on live feed again, and just get everybody pooling their resources together, their information, their stories.
So I'm getting a lot of requests right now for the group. I am going to accept you. We are going to start having mandatory questions for people joining this group so we can help screen them, so that safe people are joining this group, that there's no predators among us. And I think Carrie was willing to help us do the screening. So she can help us with the admin, and it's a safe place to go to talk to about your experiences. And I think at that, if there's anything else that you want to share,
just
on your behalf.
Thanks for your partner's brave and very inspiring words. You talked very. I'm very proud of you.
Thank you. Honestly,
your wife would be very proud of you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. It means a lot.
For making that video.
Thank you so much.
Hi.
All right. Well, thank you guys all for watching. Thank you for being so supportive. Thank you, Carrie, again for sharing your story, for coming with us on live today. And I think we'll just leave it at that. I hope that that this momentum is just gonna get bigger and bigger. It's gonna build. So you guys, we're in this together.
For sure.
We're not alone.
All right. Okay. We'll talk to you soon, Carrie. It's so good to see you.
Yes.
For sure.
For sure.
Okay. Thank you, everybody, for joining us.